Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Wednesday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia, rate, review, subscribe. If you listen to Apple iTunes, we appreciate that and all who have done so already. All right, we said we were going to come on. We said we were going to wish you a Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas. See you later.
Yeah, bye.
See ya.
Yeah, we thought we were going to be talking about something completely different.
I thought we were going to get to do a Notre Dame post game and another preview for Wake Forest. And
yeah, we probably would have waited, but
actually would have split that up, wouldn't we have? Yeah. So
possibly.
Yeah, we would have. But here we are, and it doesn't look like Syracuse is going to play until the
January 6th.
6th. Yeah, this says my schedule says 5th, 6th, like they hadn't chosen yet. But yeah, Florida State, it looks like. So what is Syracuse going to look like heading into that game after another pause in activities? This will be the third one altogether for the team total, for Buddy. Yeah, the team total. But we wanted to come on here, wish everybody Merry Christmas. It's my favorite time of year besides summer. If it's not summer for me, then it needs to be Christmas. Once Christmas is done, Joe, like, you can take it, all the cold weather, the borderline snow that we get. It was supposed to snow on Christmas, and here we are. Now it's warmed up to 50 degrees in Virginia Beach, and it's only going to rain, which, you know, is just miserable. So right. You can have all that once Christmas is done, and I just want summer back. So maybe I should keep going south. Just so you know, we're looking at, not having any games until the 6th, which leaves us a little time to kind of get in some of our other show ideas that we just haven't had time to do because we're just jam-packed with work and games. So we'll have stuff and we'll be on, and we'll have some fun with that, and it is what it is. So
we'll do our best.
Yeah, we'll try to. It won't be as regimented or predictable, but we'll figure it out. I had my work Christmas party this past week, and so I brought my warehouse guy over to Wegmans. He's never been there. He's from Boston. But yeah.
It's not a Wegmans in Boston.
There's no Wegmans in Boston, no. And then he spent some time. He spent some time in South Carolina as a police officer, and now we work together, and he's a great dude. So I brought him to Wegmans. I'm like, look, let's go to Wegmans. Let's do all the shopping for the Christmas party. You can't go out anywhere. You can't have gatherings more than 10 here in Virginia, in the state of Virginia. So, we'll throw a super spreader at the warehouse. We got enough room. Let's get some food. I'm joking. For crying out loud. I'll get some food. We'll go to Wegmans. We'll grab some food. I'm gonna stock up on the Gianelli sausage. I'm gonna get Hoffman hot dogs. And I'm like, you know what? Let's get some Coonies. I'm gonna get some Coonies and show these guys some Coonies. They ain't never seen these things before. So I bought one pack of Coonies. 31 guys. I bought one pack of Coonies.
Well, don't they come in a pack of 16?
No. Well, you get the big pack. No, but they come in a pack of 6 if you just buy the single pack. I bought two 16 packs of dogs, which they were a hit. I mean, people liked them. They were asking, what kind are these? But the Coonies, people are like, what's this white thing? What the hell is this? And so a couple guys tried. There were still 2 left. Not a big hit with the Cooney, bro. Not a big hit. Like I said, and James concurs, Coonies, you should sell them in packs of 2. Packs of 2. Or maybe even singles. Sell them like cheese sticks. Just not that.
Never been a fan.
Just not that popular. I actually enjoy them. They're just not that popular. But that was Came out of nowhere. Sorry about that.
No, it's good.
Okay. Well, we don't have anything else to talk about.
I dress those up, man. I know you sit here and you make jokes saying I put ketchup on hot dogs. It's like the one thing I don't put ketchup on. So
I don't know. Captain Patrick says you put ketchup on hot dogs, bro.
Only because you say it. But I'll tell you what, if I had my choice, some coleslaw, some chili, mustard. Done.
I'm down with that. The chili mustard combo, something about it. Like, I would never have a bowl of chili with mustard in it, but the chili mustard combo on a dog, even a Cooney, it's
If you
money.
haven't tried it, try it.
Yeah, you're missing out. All right. This episode of the Cuse Militia is brought to us by our title sponsor for the Cuse Militia and Armchair Media, Bet Online. Now, you may not be able to get to a game this year. We may not even ever see another game again this year. For Syracuse, who the hell knows? At this rate, it is not looking good. But the good news is, the silver lining is Bet Online. Bet Online is going the extra mile to make sure you can get in on everything imaginable this season, from game spreads and totals to team, player, and coach and props. Bet Online gives you more options to wager than any other place online. Head to Bet Online today. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR to take advantage of all of the great sign-up bonuses. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Do not let the sadness of Syracuse basketball, or lack thereof, deter you from enjoying the rest of sports. Get in on the action. Bet Online. Go there today. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR. Thank you. Bet Online. All right. So, some more football news, Joe. The transfer portals opened wide up. And Nykeem Johnson, he was the same week he was named All-ACC second team. He led the ACC with 169 punt return yards, an average of 14.1 yards per return this season. Easy for me to say. He is going to enter the transfer portal, and we'll come back to that in 1 second. Taj Harris, Melifonwu, and Nolan Cooney, they were named third-teamers for All-ACC. So, Joe, not a huge surprise to you. You've mentioned it before. I'm not sure if it was here or to me, but you did mention it because of, you feel like maybe with the quarterback situation, that's maybe I don't want to say his talent was being wasted, but I'm not sure that he was able to shine with what we had going on.
Right.
And, you know, I on the flip side of that, when you start bringing some of these other quarterbacks in to create some competition, you think, well, maybe he'll second guess that, right? Or decide to maybe stay. But he's going to enter the transfer portal. We wish him the best of luck. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I did bring it up, I think maybe one time before on a podcast when we were talking about, you know, out of all the guys left that haven't announced, which ones would we rather have back? And obviously you don't want all of them. But just I think how he's seen it go for the last 2 years for his talent. And I'm not saying that it's all on the quarterbacks. There might be some things he could have done as well. But again, there's definitely people out there and places out there that could better utilize his talents. And if it's somebody that's going to, you know, have a chance or want to go out with a bang, you know, I can see why he can see that he wants to go somewhere else to make that happen. You know, that's really it. I mean, it's not, you never know if it's a home thing, if it's a school thing with classes, you know, who knows if there's going to be something out there that actually explains that to us. But all the luck to him, man. I enjoyed him while he was here. He had some good moments.
Yeah, he definitely did. And, you know, we wish him the best of luck, obviously. Mm-hmm. We always say that. That's the trite thing to say. It's the right thing to say. But you hate to see anybody like a talent like Nykeem Johnson go, especially when you're a little thin right there at the moment and just trying to.
Oh, of course.
You know, just trying to.
No, in fans' eyes, they're like, you know, but I just can't. I'm not down with making it personal just because you're a fan and you never really know what the person's, you know, personal reasons are or what's going on with them.
Some struggles last year with DeVito, obviously, you know, from what we saw between those two this year, we saw a little bit of that carry over. There was just not totally on the same page all the time. I think we kind of talked about that a little bit. And, you know, I mean, we don't know what else goes into it, but, you know, I thought it would, you know, we'll see. You know, we'll see. I mean,
we'll see. We had a bunch of young receivers, and some guys got to step up. think Courtney Jackson's got a little bit of
yeah, he's had some moments.
Promise, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Ed Hendricks made it through a season without getting
being
injured. So, and we're bringing in 3 real big receivers over 6'3". So, I'm not really I don't want to say worried, but I think that's something that we might, that's a more replaceable person in position.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I'm not, and again, it's not a dig, and we're always going to say that. Just like guys from basketball that, they leave early to go to the NBA. Obviously, as a fan, you'd love to have Elijah this year, right? Or Carmelo a second year, right? But you can't. Like, I'm not going to be that guy that gets personally mad at somebody just because.
Well, why?
Right.
Why?
I know. Yeah. I know. I get it.
He's going to join Cooper Dawson, Cam Jonas, Jason Munoz, and Mackenzie Pierre as those entering the transfer portal. So, look, we didn't get to play against Notre Dame. We're not going to get to play against Wake Forest, and we're not going to get to play against UNC, like we said. So, what does Syracuse basketball look like heading into a game against Florida State where it looks like they may be able to have, 2 or 3 days of practice, maybe, as a team?
Yeah.
And all of this because if you were living under a rock and you didn't know, a positive test from Buffalo after the game was played. My understanding is that Buffalo was tested on Thursday to come to the Dome. They were tested and received their results on Thursday, all negative. They come to the Dome on Saturday, so we've gone about, 48 hours. And when they leave here and they get tested on Monday, so another 48 hours after that, there was a positive, and I hear it's from a walk-on, and now we got to do contact tracing. Then I hear, okay, I'm like going a couple days, goes by, and I'm like, okay, how long does it take to do the contact tracing? And now I'm finding out there was no microchips involved, and that we just have to, and Buffalo, have to just quarantine for 14 days. And when we can't play basketball like this, okay, the women, by the way, the women seem to be doing just fine, and it's not a dig against the guys, but thankfully we have women's basketball to watch. And by the way, they bounced back against a loss against UNC, against BC, coming back and win that game without Tiana. But what are they now? 5-1, Joe? I think they slipped in
5-1.
I think they slipped in the rankings, but they're 5-1 and
22nd. They got a game the 28th against Morgan State, and then
they go
the
conference again, right?
Who's 31st? It's against North Carolina. Try to get that, at home to try to get that redemption. So
yeah. So, we've got that going on, and hopefully everything goes swimmingly with the ladies. And obviously,
we got 2 more games before the men. So
So hit up the ladies' games. And when's the Morgan State game? Is that both on Sunday?
Morgan State is the 28th, and
Monday.
UNC is the 31st.
Okay, all right. So, anyways, we've got both of those. But back to what I was saying. I mean, I don't know how you can play like this. And a lot of this, let's be honest, is New York State because according to Syracuse.com, there's a lot of other ACC schools, Florida State, Louisville, Wake Forest, Boston College, Notre Dame just changed their rules, and they do a 7-day quarantine at the most with a negative test. And we went through this in the beginning where, Coach had it and the rest of the team was able to play, they stopped, they did a pause, right? And then we played Bryant, right? And then we had Buddy had come into contact with a walk-on through contact tracing, and him and a couple other guys had a quarantine, but the other guys were able to play. But with this situation here, because they couldn't microchip this, which I don't know why not. I mean, we heard Coach, I think I played it on the podcast, talking about the microchipping and the little bands, watches that they wear. And so because of that, now we got to go 14 days. So
yeah. Well, you never know. That could be just Buffalo not having the money to do it, right?
I thought maybe the NCAA would, I guess not, but I guess it's a school thing. It must be.
It could be a school thing. I mean, if Buffalo in a MAC conference doesn't have the money to do that.
Oh, excuse me. It's a conference thing. I'm sorry. I believe I remember Coach saying that. It's a conference thing.
Right. So when you play a non-conference game, you're kind of taking a chance, right? And
yeah. Well, that would fit us,
state,
huh?
Yeah, well, it's in-state as well. And again, I mean, I guess my whole thing is I would just like some consistency. And then also you just have a situation where, I mean, you even have recommendations, 7-day recommendations from the CDC. That's why most states are
7
running
to 10,
with
right?
that. Yeah, 7 to 10, something like that, right? So, and really when you look at our individual situations as far as everything that's happened with coach and how everyone else had to sit out, the whole team, and then this other player got it, but then Buddy was the only one. And I mean, it's just the consistency, and
It's just it's wonky. It's really like, it's just all over the place because of the state rules. And it's funny because, well, it's not actually funny, but I just saw today that Cuomo is considering allowing 6,700 fans to a Bills playoff game? I don't know. Where'd they pull the number from? I don't know. It's arbitrary, just like every other Cuomo number out there, in my opinion. So they're thinking about allowing 6,700 Bills fans in for the team's upcoming playoff game. Fans would be tested for COVID before the game, and masks would be required. Anyone not wearing one would be removed from the stadium. Contact tracing would take place after the game to determine if and how the spread of the coronavirus went. So, but that's funny that we're deciding to do this now as if the playoffs change things, right? Like I've been saying since football season, there's got to be a way to do this responsibly, whether you make them wear masks or you take temps or you do this, that, or the other. There's got to be a way to do it. But now that the Bills are in playoffs, which can I'm on the Bills wagon, bro. I'm there. Nothing against the Bills, but this burns. This chaps my ass, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So, all of a sudden now that they make the playoffs, we can do this. But before, it wasn't even a question, wasn't even a thought. So now it's okay though, right? With the same type of plan you could have done months ago for football or anything else in New York State. It's insane.
Yeah, no offense to anyone listening, but I'm so glad I don't live there.
It's a little crazy there.
I'm just saying it's you have everybody that's like, listen to science, okay, I'm cool with that, but a CDC recommends this. Why aren't you listening to the science?
Because Cuomo's got his heels are dug in, and that's it.
No, yeah, he's got an ego to protect, right?
Yeah, basically.
And I just hate the fact that, like, again, and I mean, people are going to say what they want. This, I'm not saying one way or another, but there are people out here that are using this pandemic and this virus to their advantage.
To be drunk on power.
No. And it's unfortunate because of, I mean, everybody that's affected. And again, I mean, I live in a state that doesn't have a governor that's as bad. Yeah, it's not, I don't know.
It is at the very least, it's frustrating. The inconsistency, and we're told to follow the science. Well, New York's not really following the science because they're not using the protocols that every other team, even in the ACC, are using. I mean, you even got like Pittsburgh. I mean, it's not too terribly far. Boston College.
Yeah, but it's a state thing. It's not a conference thing.
I understand that, but I'm saying as far as location goes, you got Boston College, you got Pittsburgh, and when you look at all the ACC, and Syracuse is the only school in the ACC that's doing this 14-day thing. They're not going to be able to play like this. It's not going to be able to happen. I don't understand how they even are going to be able to get all the games in unless they. There's a thought process out there that I tend to agree with, and I don't know how you would do it. Maybe you do it per conference, or it would be tough to do it per school. I think you'd have to at least do it per conference or the whole NCAA, where you would just pause everything for 10 days, bubble everything from here on out, and finish off the season that way. I just don't know how you do it any other. You're shaking your head no. I just don't know any other way you do it. Using these protocols.
What do you mean bubble? Like, have everybody go to a place?
Not necessarily, but you got the chips, right? I mean, you could bubble with chips. I mean, I say bubble. It doesn't mean everybody has to be in the same place. No.
What do you mean chips? Tournaments?
No. The chips, the damn contact tracing chips.
Oh, yeah.
So you could actually bubble by using those, being in your dorm. You go in your dorm, you stay in your dorm with your roommate, you go to the bus, you go to the game, you come back, you go to your dorm. I mean, you go to practice. I don't know. But I'm just saying, what we're doing right now is not working. It seems like you could find another way if you had to put a pause on everything, quarantine it for 10 days, make sure you work out all the positive tests or whatever, and then have at it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to happen regardless anyway. So I'm amongst the beliefs of like that this is going to affect every single team at some point throughout the season. It just depends on what your conference and your state deems is necessary when these things happen, right? This year earlier, I wasn't joking around when I said that it might be May Madness, because the only way that I can see, like if I'm NCAA and I'm conferences right now, I'm already pushing my conference tournament back 2 weeks.
Yeah, you almost have to.
And then, let them get halfway through the season, and then we'll come back and see where everyone's at, because you're going to need time. Now, don't get me wrong. Like we talked about it before, there's plenty of different times during the season, every season really, where we'll go a week without a game, right? So we can squeeze in a makeup here, a makeup there, right?
Yeah, you can squeeze in the makeups. You can do that. But that's not very often, though. A 3 is going to be tough.
Well, yeah, 3 is going to be tough, right? I mean, you hope that we can get this knocked down to 10, and then maybe we can, we knock it down to 10 days, push it over to try to get the Wake Forest game to the 31st or something, then, maybe we got something and we can salvage 2 of these games, or at least 1 with UNC. But yeah, they're going to have to do that, because we're going to have to make these up.
Yeah, we're going to have to make them up. Is there a minimum? Is there a minimum number of games? I think there is. I think it's 25 or something like that, minimum number of games.
I think there's a minimum number of games, but I think that you're expected to play all your conference games.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to get back into this. I want to talk to you, Joe, about what this is going to look like with Syracuse coming back after another 14 days without practice, this time with the whole team. But let's talk about BetOnline real quick. As you know, BetOnline, they're going the extra mile to make sure you can get in on everything imaginable this season, from game spreads and totals to team, player, and coaching props. BetOnline gives you more options to wager than any other place online. Head over to BetOnline today. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR to take advantage of all of the great sign-up bonuses. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Thank you, BetOnline. Now, 'tis the season. If you've let yourself go in 2020, Joe, while you've been in quarantine, well, you haven't been, but you still let yourself go, Manscaped is here for you to reboot and stay clean and shaved for 2021, buddy. Just in time. Manscaped, they're here to give you a fresh start for 2021 with their Perfect Package 3.0 that has all the right tools for the job. Come out of quarantine with a clean boys. Let's say. Thanks to the Lawnmower 3.0, the waterproof and skin-safe trimmer will reduce nicks to everything below the belt. The third-generation trimmer has, hence 3.0, get it? The third-generation trimmer even has a light to give you a glow that you'll need in 2021. 2020 was awful, so make sure your boys are refreshed and ready for new beginnings in 2021. Manscaped, they even threw in the shed travel bag to keep all of your goodies stored comfortably. Speaking of comfort, the Manscaped anti-chafing boxers briefs are also included in our hands down the best underwear you will ever wear. Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code armchair at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping. Just use the promo code armchair at manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped. Thank you, BetOnline. Head over there. You got nothing else to do. Might as well head over there. Get your stuff straight. Come out looking fresh. Be fresh in 2021. All right, Joe. So we did.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. What do you got? Merry Christmas. Oh, hold on. Whoa. You caught me off guard. Joe,
sorry, my bad.
Joe breaking out the airplane bottle. What is that? What the hell is that? Crown Royal? Huh?
That's a little Crown Royal Regal apple.
Holy smokes. All right, hold on.
I got a little, little Christmas gift bag for my boss today.
So one of the lovely sales ladies at work gifted me some Christmas brews. Let me see. They're all pretty potent. Let me pick one out here as I waste time.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to cheers it up, I'm going to do it right. How about Happy New Year?
There we go.
Okay, hold on. Oh, here we go. Get that, puppy opened. Get that puppy opened.
Got a little,
up. All right.
Gift card from Firehouse Subs and a little airplane bottle,
Dude, can't beat that. All right, cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.
Down the hatch.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah. So where were we?
I was talking about, we saw how we went into Bryant and how ugly that kind of was. And when you think about a 14-day quarantine, I immediately think about Bryant. Buddy come out of his 14-day quarantine after that on fire, but the past two games kind of struggled. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, Joe, to be honest with you. What do you think? Do you think if they get out, let's say they get out on the 2nd. That's the day, I think that is the day. That's what I think I read. That's the day they were supposed to play North Carolina, but if they come out that day, obviously they can't. So the 6th, So you got 4 days to practice.
Yeah. I mean, it's really what you're talking about is you're losing practice time. I mean, it's not, and it's something that people, I don't even really think put that much thought process into it, but knowing that you didn't have their normal offseason, the stuff that we talked about, the same thing with football. They always make it a big deal when the football teams make the bowl games traditionally. And why is that? Because it gets them an extra 2-3 weeks of practice, which they use to go on into next season. They use that to get some of the guys that are going to be returning, up to speed and get them in the bowl game if they possibly could and stuff like that. And that does a lot for a team. And just like basketball, we're not a finished product by any means. We have injuries, we have freshmen, we have a transfer, Alan Griffin coming in. We got a lot of stuff that we need to work on. And, you get that by playing games, but you get that by practicing and getting in the work from the coaches, looking at tape, that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, they can look at tape, they can have conversations with coaches, but there's nothing like, on the job training, doing it right, practicing, and they don't have that. So obviously it's going to be a setback. It's going to be detrimental, and then that's one of the things that's going to happen as you see is going on in this year. I think you're going to see teams that struggle because of certain things like this, where it pops up where they're missing 2 guys here, 3 guys there. They can't practice for 7 days, that kind of stuff. There's going to be teams that it doesn't affect them like other teams, and they're going to get practice. They're going to be playing all the games. They're going to be getting the continuity, and those are going to be the teams that are going to be well off when it comes down to the end of the year. So you can't just not practice, have 5 guys show up, pick up a basketball, and expect it to be amazing.
No,
so,
and
Florida State's one of the better teams in the ACC. So
yeah, well, Florida State right now is sitting at 5-1. Lost to UCF. I actually watched that game, but wins over, North Florida and Florida. Georgia Tech is their conference win so far. They're going to play Clemson with any luck. They'll play them on December 29th, and then they'll play Duke the 2nd, and then they'll play us. So they're going to get 2 more games in before they come to us. They're going to have all that practice time. They're going to have all that rhythm, all that flow, and then they're going to come into Syracuse. It's going to be our ACC home opener, and they're going to be ready to go while Syracuse is still trying to get their legs under them. And I don't want to be like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, it's not fair, because It is what it is. It's a big boy sport. It's like football.
No,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna say it's not
you got to
fair.
step up and you got to,
Yeah.
But to sit there and act like it doesn't affect it.
Oh, it totally
at the same
affects
time,
it.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to use it as an excuse. People are still going to show up, and they're not going to want to use it as an excuse. But at the end of the day, like that affects teams. Teams with more practice and getting together, continuity, those kind of things. It's most of the time going to be that. Now, sometimes does talent just override everything? Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you saw that in Bryant.
Yeah.
As close as that was, right? That's just what it was. Northeastern, same thing. This is the talent ended up just coming to the top. But when you're talking about ACC teams, then because it's not going to happen like that. And we saw a situation where we just went through 2 tough games, came back, amazing comeback against Buffalo, hold it together, win in overtime, put up that many points by shooting that 3-point percentage. And you're thinking, okay, we got Notre Dame, Wake Forest, 2 winnable games, and now we got that rematch against UNC, the last game from last year from the ACC tournament. I mean, that was something I was looking forward to.
I was looking forward to it too, and something we haven't.
You go 3-0 right there. We're going ranked into Florida State, who Florida State right now, they're a top 3 team in the ACC.
You're damn right. And
so if they haven't, go ahead.
I was just going to say, speaking of rankings, we were starting to move back up. I mean, we had that close game against Northeastern, and we were sitting 27th. We got bumped down to 30th, but not playing games has hurt us a little bit more. According to KenPom, any rankings I do outside the top 25 are going to be KenPom rankings. He's got us at 32nd so far, not playing against Notre Dame. So, and not that means anything, by the way, but to your point, being able to go into those games. And the one thing we haven't mentioned that you mentioned to me on the phone to give you credit was that the silver lining, if you want to look at something in all of this, is going to be when we come back to finally play, is going to be Sidibe's going to probably be there. The problem
less games
is
without Sidibe.
Right. Right. Exactly. Because we're going to have to make up those games. So really, we only had to suffer. We actually gained at least 2 games probably with Sidibe, right? So the problem with that is, like to your point from the previous show, where we talked about, this is a knee injury. This is not something that, basically he can't get up his stamina again. He can't work on his stamina. He can't do those things. But at some point he's going to be able to.
Some stuff.
He can do some stuff, but he's not running up and down the court with a basketball or running with his team.
That's my whole thing. Is again, it's like that's basketball is a completely different. Basketball is like circuit training. Like, and you have to try to figure everything out because at 1 minute you're going breakneck speed, boom, 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 and then you get a little break for some free throws or something like that. Timeout. Just anything like that, right? So he can go on his treadmill. He can lose a little bit of the weight he might have put on because he can't run, whatever. But there's a difference. I mean, you can be in treadmill 3-4 mile shape, but that doesn't mean you're in shape to go out there and put 20-30 minutes up on a board.
Let's remember, he only played 4 minutes so far this season. I mean, 4 minutes.
Yeah, and that's another thing you think. I mean, he's had bad knees anyway, and everyone's talking about like, oh, you got to put weight on. You got to put weight on. Most some guys put on weight, and then their knees or their other parts of their body can't hold that weight. So, I'd hate if that was the case, but he played a whole year last year, and it was great, and you could see the development and. Had me actually looking forward. I mean, I remember I used to make fun of my dad all the time. He said, I love Sidibe.
I remember. I made fun of your dad, too.
I can see the potential. Yeah, I do. We both did. Not to his face, of course, but,
No, just on here.
Yeah, and he doesn't listen. If he does, he doesn't remember. That's all right. It doesn't. That's besides the point. All I'm saying is that, love you, Dad. Sidibe got me to the point where, like, I was actually excited for him this year, excited to see what our backline could do, hoping that our defense could pop back up in the KenPom defensive efficiency rankings like we've been previous to last year. And so, yeah, that's the silver lining as far as I can see. The Sidibe will be back after these probably 14 days now. He's not going to be probably starter minutes or even maybe starting back, but he'll be back to put in some minutes and to kind of ease his way back in. So.
Yeah.
Silver lining I got, man. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to make
if you got to
some
pull
type of
something out of
positive
it's just brutal because like you got footballs like a week apart and you got a bye and you got 2 weeks apart. So our basketball is just so much tighter scheduled, and obviously
It is,
you see
but it's easier
you
to
see the
reschedule
difference.
games too.
It is easier to reschedule games. It is because you can play multiple games a week. You can't do that with football. So
Right.
there is that, but just the way football went, I guess I kind of got unrealistic expectations heading into basketball season about how some of this was going to go. And, it's just disappointing. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, I want to watch basketball on Saturdays. And we'll get into some fan feedback and all that stuff here in a second. But it's not about that. It's really not. It's not even about coming and doing the show before and after games because, by the way, we we already did this once. We filled plenty of time last year during March Madness, or what was supposed to be March Madness, and we'll be here. If we're talking about
Sadness,
if we're talking about March
we were still
Sadness,
there talking about movies and crap. But
if we come here and talk about our mashed potato recipes, we'll still be coming here. I mean, whatever. I mean, we'll figure something out. I don't even care.
No, by the way, that the little garlic sauce, the little garlic packs you get from Papa John's.
You throw those in your mashed potatoes?
Oh, dude.
Those are excellent.
You.
Those are excellent.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I get
game changer.
I get Wegmans finishing butter. They have little things of finishing butter, garlic finishing butter.
You got to get a hold of Wegmans because they might as well be our sponsor.
No kidding, right? I should look into that. That's true. That's true. All right, let's get into some of what I asked you about. Let's check it out.
It's time to hear from you, the loud mouths from the Loud House.
All right, this time's a little different. I'm not asking you for your thoughts on the Notre Dame game. Instead, I've asked for your thoughts on the COVID protocols for this year's basketball season, and I just was trying to kind of create some conversation. Got some good things here, some things I want to address, and I just want to say that we're treading into the COVID territory, and obviously Joe and I both, it's too sad to me, honestly, that I have to preface everything I'm about to say, but I'm going to anyway. Joe and I understand the severity of this. We understand how it spreads. We understand there has been a lot of people that lose their lives to this, and we understand it's not something to toy around with. We are both responsible when we are out in public and wherever we need to be. I follow all the rules. I assume Joe pretty much maybe follows 80% of them. But here we are. Just throwing that out there. So, top fan. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Jesse on Facebook. Not sure when we will be back to playing, but I hope we don't just go into play North Carolina or Florida State after not playing for 10 days. 10 plus days. Well, guess what, Jesse? That's exactly what it looks like we're going to do, bud.
100%.
So we're going to go back and we're going to play Florida State, and it's going to look like maybe 3 days of practice and max. Yeah. And I think that's going to be obviously it goes without saying, that's going to be the biggest test of the year for Syracuse is going into that Florida State game, and it is at home. So there's that, right? That is a home game, correct?
Yes.
I think I already looked at it. Yeah. So, Brandon says, truly a joke. Zach, top fan Zach, he says, NCAA is a joke per usual. Now, to be fair, this isn't an NCAA thing, but to be fair, wouldn't want to have any negative effect on King Cuomo's next presidential run. Wow. Okay. Well, I will say this, Zach, that this isn't an NCAA thing, but the NCAA has had 8 months before basketball started to coordinate these things with schools and states if they so chose to do that, just that.
Yeah.
Conferences.
And Cuomo will never be president. But
let's God help us all. God help us all. But I would think that probably something went on, but I mean, I don't know. It doesn't appear to me that they made any kind of effort to coordinate things, unfortunately. Lori says they should have just done conference games and then the tournament. It would have made sense and less of a chance of it being a problem. That's a good point. You could have doubled up on more conference games and kind of done what we did with football and just played mostly conference games. I think that's a legit point, and in hindsight, it's great.
Well, yeah, it really is because not every single conference is going to go play by the same rules, and not every conference has the money to play by the same rules. So let's be honest here, right? We knew that it was going to be getting down to that season where people get sick, and we knew that this was going to happen. So it makes sense to just that would make sense to me to just maybe up the amount of games you play, just play in conference, and everyone abides by the same rules. And
that's kind of what I was talking about with the bubble.
States come together and maybe all get on the same, page. Get a handful of governors together, get on the same page,
Yeah.
No.
Do we need more governors coming together for anything?
Hello, Governor. No, yeah, we do.
Hello, Governor.
We need them. We need them to come together so they can all be on the same page, so that something like this happens.
What was that?
We're not sitting out 14 days and they're sitting out 7 days.
What was that?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what was that? You got me now.
I don't know.
Hello, Governor. That was look, my cousin Craig, back at ESM, he had a part in a play, and his line was, "Hello, Governor." That was it. What play was that? Come on, man. Yeah, that was his line. Anyway, and
weird.
you just, yeah, my cousin Craig. He's weird. Daryl on Facebook, top fan Daryl. Golly. Sean, he addresses me because he knows damn well that Joe is most likely he was voted most likely not to check fan feedback in high school. Sean, the protocols here in New York State are a joke. I would like anyone to show me the percentage of college sports that contribute to positive COVID results here in New York State. Boom. Boom.
Well, first off, joke's on you. Twitter and Facebook were not even around when I was in high school, so I just want to throw that out there. But
boom. Daryl, you just dropped the hammer on it. I mean, he really did. So, yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to see those numbers. It really would. Captain Pat on Facebook, not a top fan, pretty disappointed about it. He said, Joe probably likes them. Man.
Likes who?
Likes the COVID protocols.
Oh, Lord.
He loves you. Let's see. Penny on Facebook. Too many kids
Definitely don't.
Penny on Facebook. I'll start over because Joe interrupted me. Too many kids are getting hurt because they are not conditioned. Some games, not just Syracuse, but men's and women's are painful. You can just tell they aren't ready to play. Yeah, I can see where it could cause, issues like that. Looks like Penny's a basketball player, by the way. But she's got a point. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we've suffered any of that, obviously, with the only one real injury that we've had. But, I mean, it could be going on throughout the league. So, I got two more. David, top fan, Facebook. He just says bullshit, which is... I mean, if you're just gonna spit truth, there you go. There's David. Alex on Facebook, Alex G. Postponing games are just the start to us probably not having another March Madness. It's a shame, but that's what it is looking like. And yeah, he doesn't like Cuomo. Now, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we won't have a March Madness, but our buddy Joey the Barber says this, and I don't know where he got it. I haven't seen it, but Joey the Barber. Heard today that if there isn't an NCAA tournament this year, the NCAA will be borderline broke. That is that would be two in a row. that's a possibility. I don't know if borderline broke, but that's. I mean, it ain't helping. It ain't helping.
I mean,
So,
I can see a situation where, you know, if the NCAA's got to come in or the ACC's got to come in and come talk to Cuomo and, hey, you need to make something right.
hey,
you know
look,
what I
bada
mean?
bing, bada boom. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
I don't know if that'll work with Cuomo though. You know.
Oh, it seems like his language. Bada bing, bada boom. You know why not?
I mean, yeah, maybe, but I'm just saying, like right now, like to your point, like it's a situation where I mean, it's not just us. I know that NC State's had a little bit of a problem. Wake Forest is only 2-0, so I don't know if it's just them or the teams that they've been playing against, but there's other issues as well with the teams in our conference. But I'll tell you, I don't think the ACC or the NCAA, if that's true, is going to be cool with Syracuse running their conference.
Oof.
They already don't like the fact that we're in the ACC. I'm going to let you know that right now.
Oof.
Living down here.
Yeah,
There's
no.
well,
we all know that. We all know that. That's facts.
There's people down here in North Carolina that are Duke fans that don't know that Syracuse is in the ACC.
That's pathetic.
Now maybe they're just casual fans.
I think they're
now.
casual.
I'm not
bro.
trying to, but I'm just saying, like, you know, they still think that there's a Big East football, conference.
Right. So
they don't care. They don't want us there.
It's all about pressure. So here's just a random thought, and that is that I think I mentioned his heels are dug in. He being Cuomo, okay, and it is what it is. This is about him. This is his role, and we're talking about it because it's affecting Syracuse basketball, right? So his heels are dug in. He's not the type of guy to be like, to be told what to do or appeased to. Doesn't seem to me.
I think we've seen plenty of.
So how long does it last?
Plenty of exhibits of that.
How long does it last? The more pressure gonna break that or no? I mean, I don't know. We talked about allowing fans into watch Bills playoff game. I think that's great. I think fans should have been there. Was it Ralph Wilson Stadium still? What is it?
Yes.
Is it still? Okay. Ralph Wilson Stadium. I think they should have been there at the week 1 watching their Bills, some of the best fans in the NFL. Watch their Bills just tear through everybody this year. They should have been able to be there to watch that.
In their defense, have you seen Bills fans?
Now look, I'm not talking about tailgating. I'm talking about watching the game.
Can you trust them to really?
No, you can't trust Bills fans. No,
do all this other. Okay, I mean, and it's not just them. There's other ones. Raiders fans have been bad. Philadelphia fans. I mean, there's a courthouse in the basement or something like that. It's like Philly. Right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, fans are rowdy.
Fans are rowdy. Well, here's the thing. Like I said at the Dome, people are like, "Oh, well, I don't want those drunk people around there." Well, okay. Don't serve alcohol. Yeah. Stop them from tailgating.
Outside.
I understand they're tailgating. Look. This is freaking them. This isn't China. This isn't NBA's China, for crying out loud. Okay, this is America. We're allowed to tailgate at places.
I'm just saying that if you got people that are jumping off of RVs, doing backflips on burning on fire tables. Do you think they care about catching COVID?
Bills fans, maybe not the best example.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
And I'm not even doing this to, I'm a Giants fan. I'm not doing this to bang on the Bills, but there's obvious, just go on Twitter.
Touche.
Look up Bills Mafia, or YouTube.
Touche. Golly. Just trying to throw him a bone, man. Steve on Facebook, he hates the Bills.
They're just going to make the AFC Championship and lose anyway.
Oh, damn. Steve, look. I was old enough to remember the 4 Super Bowls in a row. I remember I watched every single one of them with Bills fans. Oh, my God.
Why do you think I'm a Giants fan?
The pain. Norwood wide right. Was it wide right or wide left? It was wide one
Norwood,
right.
wide right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Steve.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Are you done? Steve on Facebook will not be very, very beneficial in the end. Games will be canceled and no ability to reschedule. I disagree with that. I think we covered that, Steve. I think we will be able to reschedule these games. Just depends on how many. Too many pauses and a team would lose its basketball fitness. Absolutely. If NCAA conference and schools are so concerned with the safety of the athlete and staff, don't play. All right. Solid point. That brings me to this. Anthony on Facebook. Anthony, not a top fan. I'm a little disappointed, Anthony. College students with a bright future ahead of them. Coaches are well into their elder years. It's easy for fans who aren't putting their own lives at risk to criticize the protocols so they can have something to do on a Saturday afternoon. If we learned anything from the postseason football pressers, this year has taken a toll on every program to the point that they are opting out of bowl games. Whether you believe this virus is dangerous or not, indoor exposure is of less than 6 feet or more than 10 minutes is the formula for spreading this highly contagious virus. The NCAA has granted an extra year, so no one lost anything. I'm hopeful 2020 was a teachable moment for our country. Is putting your own needs and wants ahead of the collective can cause harm. Well, I'm going to start at the top, Joe. Give me a minute.
Sure you want to do this?
Yes. And we can disagree and still be friends and everything. I just disagree with this. I disagree with most of this. The kids, I guarantee you, want to play basketball more than we want to watch them on a Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of Saturday afternoons where there has been no Syracuse sports or whatever. Look, I watch Syracuse sports. I watch the NFL. I watch the Raiders. And I watch NASCAR. There's been plenty of Saturday afternoons where I don't have anything, and I'm perfectly fine. Do I want to watch them play? Of course I want to watch them play. Of course I do. Guarantee you they want to play more than I want to watch them play, first of all. As far as them putting their own lives at risk, I mean, Joe, you've been working. You work around, 300-some people? Yep. I work around anywhere from 30 to 50 people, and I'm in homes. I'm masked up. I'm in homes, doing all these things, doing all the safe stuff. I don't consider that putting my life at risk. I don't think these kids are really putting their lives at risk by playing basketball, first of all. And second of all, Coach has said, by the way, his son is playing for him. He wants to play. You've heard Coach talk about that. And he has said, and I have looked, he has not heard of one player in college basketball that has opted out. Joe, have you heard of one player in college basketball that opted out? Because they can do that. And that's to his point, No one has lost anything. He says no one has lost anything in that, they have an extra year of eligibility, which is fine. Well, they want to play this year too, and the extra year. So, And
I would even be willing to bet that there's a lot of people or players, football players, that opted out early that
regretted it.
Probably in hindsight regret it. Yeah.
No, there's a good chance. And, he hopes this is I'm hopeful that 2020 was a teachable moment for our country, is that putting your own needs and wants ahead of the collective can cause harm. Look, I don't believe in the collective. I believe in individualism and the whole collective thing. I don't buy into it. Now, I do my part. Joe does his part. You have individual responsibility to things, and that's what I believe. And that's kind of where I stand with it. These kids want to play. If they want to play, I'm going to watch. What should I do? Tell them, just boycott it because I don't think they should be watching? I mean, I find that ridiculous.
Right. And the thing is once you set that precedent, then where does it end? Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, go ahead.
I'm just saying, again, I mean, it's one of those things where, again, I think you have to look at a whole bunch of different things. I look at it as, there's very, very, I don't even want to go down the rabbit hole, bro. I'm just saying that.
I know. It was just not fair.
I'm right there with you. Huh?
It was not fair for me to hit all of the other feedback and dip out of that one. I'm just
saying that I don't think, like, for the most part, I think that most Americans are responsible, and when it comes to something serious, they are willing to, obviously do certain things and give up certain things and donate certain things to be able to help other people.
The amount of deaths in New York, this is as of, by the way, this is as of, as far as I know, December 16th, 2020. Deaths from ages 15 to 24 in New York is 13. So to my, you say, oh, well, that seems ridiculous for him to say they're not putting their lives at risk. Well, the stats don't show that that's the case. In the whole entire,
but that's not even the point.
It is the point,
a lot of
though.
the times, the problem is that you don't see. A lot of the times, everyone's like, "Oh, look at this huge hole. Everyone needs to run over and fill it." But meanwhile, there's all these other little holes in the boat that are usually getting bigger and bigger as everyone's just concentrating on this one thing. And it goes back to more and more of the cure and what we have to do versus what we're dealing with. And the fact of the matter is the longer that this goes on, the number of lives affected by this is going to be like the lockdowns and all this other stuff are going to affect more lives.
Oh, the cure is worse than the disease.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, and just full disclosure, I mean, my son played lacrosse 5 days a week on 2 different squads for 3 months out of the fall. And I never once thought he was risking his life or anything. I thought it was fine.
And again, the problem too is that you are going to have those people that this has affected them. It has affected a loved one. They do know somebody that
I know
has
people.
passed.
I don't know anybody that's passed, but I know people who have had a seriously hard time with it.
Right, and I have people that have had it and have had a hard time with it as well. I do know that. But like I said, it's very hard. This is like you're trying to like tiptoe around something without sounding insensitive.
I know.
Hell.
Well, see, that's the thing, and then I get the emails, and I'm probably going to get some more where I can't say what the facts are showing us, or I'm insensitive, or or I'm being irresponsible, or the things I'm saying should be flagged as irresponsible and unsafe. I'm not telling anybody. I've stated numerous times that I wear my face diaper everywhere. Okay, I play by the damn rules. Do I think it does anything? That's another story. I wear the stupid thing because I'm not going to walk into a store like an a-hole and act like Mr. Tough Guy without my mask on.
Exactly, and that's a perfect example, right? But at the same time, if you want to have a Christmas dinner with 14 of your relatives,
by all means,
you're going to do it.
By the way, all of the politicians that are telling us not to do it are doing it. What's there? Debbie Burks or whatever the hell her name is. She goes and gallivants with her family.
Gavin Newsom.
Oh yeah, well,
they've been caught.
California,
They've been caught over and over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, Cuomo got caught, and I better cancel my plan. I better cancel my plans for Thanksgiving. Yeah, you better, since you told everybody to lock themselves in their bedroom. So yeah. Anyway, okay.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said, I mean, that's what. If it's so dangerous, don't you think that the politicians would really actually act on their actions? I mean, it's a red flag right there. And again, like I said, this country has always come together. We didn't need this to know that this country comes together when shit hits the fan and we need everyone to stand up and be Americans. Like, that's what we do. But at the same time, you can only push people so far. So you're starting to turn into, messing with people's lives, their livelihoods, allowing Walmart and Target and some of these other places to
Costco,
to make
BJ's,
so
Home Depot, Lowe's.
so much money. But yet, the little mom and pop's coffee shop down the road can't make a buck.
Go to Syracuse.com and just check out all of the restaurants. I mean, I think last week I saw 4 or 5 of them. Restaurants that are closing, historic landmarks in Syracuse where they're closing because of COVID. And it says it in the headline. It says due to COVID.
Yeah. And then they throw together the stimulus bill that's going to give people a measly $600. And meanwhile, they're giving millions and millions and billions of dollars to other countries. It's just ridiculous. So again, people want to talk about follow the science, follow this, follow that. Yeah, it did. But It is what it is.
It is what it is. So
These, what do they say? No,
rules for thee, not for me.
that, but also,
No what? No rest for the wicked. What?
God, come on now. Like they take advantage of the politicians take advantage of these type of things, right? So,
Don't ever let a good crisis go to waste.
yeah, pretty much, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, you can't let it be wasted.
And
It's
like
a
I
perfect
said,
opportunity to gain power.
Everyone's got their own opinion about it. You know what I mean?
That was Rahm
don't.
Emanuel, by the way, who said that.
I just look at it like, I think a pandemic or an epidemic, and I think people just dropping like flies all around me. And if you use optics and use your eyes and common sense, that's not happening in most people's normal lives.
And if you're still listening, we love you.
Sorry, not sorry.
Either I love you, but either you really love us, or you hate us.
Yep.
Sorry. So anyway, look, I hope to get back to talking Syracuse basketball. We try to avoid this talk at all costs, obviously, but we'll get back to. We have some other shows planned that we wanted to do anyway that we were having trouble fitting in. So we're going to take this opportunity and do those things. We're going to come back after we'll be back probably before this, but come the new year, we're going to each have our 5 predictions for the year, and we may squeeze them down to 3 if we can bring a guest on and do some of that stuff. We'll have some fun at the beginning of the year and do our predictions for the year, and then we'll write these down. We'll revisit them this time next year to see how right we were or how wrong we were. So that is it. I want to thank, obviously, Bet Online, the title sponsor for the Cuse Militia and Armchair Media. I want to thank all of you. Thank you so much. Look, we can disagree and still be friends. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. I want to thank Manscaped. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.